Chapter: When the Fathers Understand.
On the third day, at dawn, my father climbed to the platform once more. He smiled and looked at the crowd of people. He was searching in the crowd for someone. Wandering singers waved to him in greeting and lifted their instruments up, and the strings of their instruments vibrated in the hands of the inspired singers. My father smiled at them and scanned the crowd more and more closely. My father wanted to see his son. To see his son, born by his beloved 19 years before in the forest. Suddenly from the crowd came a young ringing voice.
Tell us, great poet and singer, you stand on top, high over all. I am here below, but why does it seem to me that you are close to me as if you were my father?
All the people heard the dialogue between the two.
What is this, youth? You do not know your own father?
The singer asked from the high tower.
I am 19 years old and I have never once seen my father. My mother and I live alone in the forest. My father left us before my appearance.
Tell me, youth, first, how do you see the world around you?
The world is beautiful at day's dawning and sunsetting. It is marvelous and multiform. But people are spoiling its beauty and inflicting suffering on one another.
From the high tower the voice responded.
Perhaps your father left you because he felt ashamed for the world he brought you into. Your father left in order to make the world beautiful for you.
So did my father believe he could change the world alone?
The day will come when all fathers understand that it is they who must answer for the world in which their children live. The day will come when each will understand that before bringing a beloved child into the world must be made happy. You, too, must think about the world in which your offspring will live. Tell me, youth, how soon will your chosen one give birth?
I do not have a chosen one in the forest. The world there is beautiful, and I have many friends. But I have not met the one who would want to follow me into my world, and I cannot leave it.
Well then, you may not yet have seen your beautiful chosen one. On the other hand, you have time to make the world at least a little more joyful for your future child.
That is what I strive for, as did my father.
You are no longer a youth. You have the blood of a fine young man flowing in you, a future poet and singer. Tell people about your beautiful world. Let's you and I sing together. Let us sing about the future beautiful world.
Who can sing when your voice is heard, great poet and singer?
Believe me, youth, you too will be able to sing. I will do the first line, you the second. Only sing boldly, poet.
My father began to sing from the high tower. Over the heads of the gathered people, a soaring voice chimed in like an echo, exulting, and drew out a line.
When I arise, the smiling dawn is all around.
And from the crowd below, suddenly a clear ringing voice continued still shyly.
And as I walk, the birds all sing.
The son's line followed the father's. Sometimes the voices merged into one, and a ringing song of joy was heard.
This day will never end. My love for you grows ever stronger.
The now emboldened youth continued the song with desperate ecstasy.
Stepping lightly down the road of the sun, I come into my father's grove. I see the shining path but do not feel my feet. There is no end to joy like this. I remember seeing all of this, sky and trees and flowers. My gaze was other, all in longing and offence, and now you, O God, inhabit all. Though all remains, the stars and birds, yet now I look upon them differently. I know not sorrow, no more anger. O world and all its people, I love you all.
The singer on the tower sang more and more softly, and soon the voice from the tower fell silent. The singer on the tower swayed, but he kept his feet and smiled at the people. He listened to the end, as his son's voice grew ever stronger. His son the singer stood below. When the song was finished, the father standing on the tower's platform waved to the people in farewell. In order to hide away from people's eyes, he descended 5 stairs. Growing weaker, losing consciousness, he strained his hearing to its limit. He heard, a breeze brought the words that a young beauty had ardently whispered to his son, the young singer.
Allow me, youth, allow me, I will follow you, I will enter your beautiful world.
On the stone steps of the sealed tower, his father lost consciousness and died with his smile. With his last breath, his lips whispered,
Continue our line. Be happy in a circle of happy children, my beloved.
My foremother's heart heard his words. Then the words of the songs of my 2 fathers were repeated by poets over the millennia. The words and phrases of that song were spontaneously reborn in the poets of various countries at times. They were heard in many languages. The simple words bore the truth, broke through postulates. Today, we hear them again. Whoever decodes these lines, not with his mind, but with his heart, will gain much wisdom.
But in the other songs your father sang from the tower, was there some purpose? Why did he give his life for the songs?
Vladimir, in his songs my father created many images. They later built and preserved the state for a long time. Priests, descendants of those first priests, created many religions with their help, and seized power in different countries. There was only one thing the priest did not know when they used images for venal purpose. The priest did not know how to make the images serve them forever, eternally. Images from those who aspired to subordinate them to their own pride lost their power. Who?
Wait, Anastasia. There's something I just can't understand about the images.
Forgive me, Vladimir, for the incomprehensibility of my explanations. I will try to relax now and get ready to tell you, in order, all about the science that is chief among all the sciences. It is called the science of imageness. All the ancient and modern sciences stem from it. Its priests dismembered it to conceal the main thing forever, to preserve forever their power over everything earthly, and they transmitted their knowledge of it orally to their descendants in underground temples. They strove so hard to preserve their secret that only 1,000th part of that science has been passed down to their descendants, today's priests. But at the time it all began, the priesthood did much better.
And how did it all start? Tell me everything from the beginning.
Yes, of course. For some reason I became overexcited again. I must tell you everything in order. Comprehension of that science began with the Tower of the Ringing Songs.
Chapter, He glorified the joy of life.
When my father sang from the high tower, his songs gave birth to images. Among the people standing below were poets, singers, and musicians. All the priests of those days sat sedately among the many people standing. More than anything, the priests were afraid of an image being born in the song that would expose them, that my father would tell about being shut up in the tower by the priests. But he's saying only of the joyous from his sealed tower. He created the image of a just ruler, and a people with whom he could live happily. He created images of wise priests, and drew a flourishing country, and the people who lived there. He did not expose anyone. He glorified the joy of life. The priests who had been learning the science of imageness for 19 years probably understood better than others what the singer was doing. They followed people's faces, and saw inspiration light up those faces. They followed the way the poet's lips whispered the lines, and the way the musicians quietly strummed their instruments in time with the songs. For 2 days, my father sang from the high tower. In their minds, the priests calculated how many thousands of years one man was building a future before all. On the 3rd day, with the dawn, all heard the words of the final song, which the son sang with the father. He absented himself, and the people dispersed. The high priest remained in his place for a long time. He sat in reverie, and he saw the priests standing about in silence. Then, before their eyes, the hair and brows of the high priest turned white, and theirs was covered in grey. He rose and ordered the entrance leading to the tower unsealed, and the entrance leading to the tower was unsealed. On the stone floor, the poet's body lay lifeless. There was a piece of bread about 2 meters away. His weakened hand had not reached that far. A mouse kept darting between the hand and that piece of bread and squeaking. The mouse kept asking and waiting for the poet to pick up his bread and share it with him. But the mouse itself would not take the bread. It waited, hoping for the singer to revive. The mouse saw the people entering and skittered toward the wall, then toward the feet of the silent priest, and ran up to them. The mouse's 2 burning, beady eyes tried to look into the human eyes. The entering priest did not notice it on the grey slabs. Then he ran up again, hurriedly, to the little piece of bread. The little grey mouse squeaked desperately, took a little piece of bread, and pushed it towards the hand of the lifeless philosopher, poet, and singer. My father's body was buried by the priest with great honor in the underground temple. They hid his grave from all, under a stone slab in the floor. Over my father's body, bowing his gray head, the high priest said,
None of us can say of himself that he learned, as you did, how great images are created. But you have not died. We have only buried your body. All around the images you created will live above the earth for millennia, and you are in them. Our descendants' souls will touch them. Perhaps someone in future centuries will be able to learn the essence of creation and how people should be. We must create a great teaching, and in secret, we will preserve it for millennia, until one of us or our descendants discovers that toward which man should direct his great power.
End of chapter. Join us for the next segment of Co-Creation, the fourth book of the Ringing Cedar series, The Secret Science.